In Africa, career prospects for youth have historically been limited, especially for the girls.
The African girl has always been given very few choices. It's either marriage or prostitution. That is usually the only alternative there is. My interest here is, and my passion has been to change the narrative.
So my name is Zainab Miraho. I'm a student here at Africa VR Campus and Center, and also a member of the XR Girls Africa.
My name is Margaret Wanjiro Moshai, a student at the Africa VR Campus and Center, and also a member of XR Girls Africa.
So my name is Agnes Wanjiko, a student at Africa VR Campus and Center, and also a member of XR Girls Africa.
So XR Girls Africa is a program of Africa VR Campus and Center. They began their journey back in 2021. They are the first girls in Africa to appear in the metaverse.
I'm Dozie Nyambura, a student of the Africa VR Campus and Center, and also a member of the XR Girls Africa. Hi, I'm Wanjiro Agnes, a student at the Africa VR Campus and Center, and a member of XR Girls Africa, which is a program by Africa VR Campus and Center.
First of all, just to introduce who Africa VR Campus and Center is that it's an organization that set out to pioneer the outreach of VR, XR, AR, especially in grassroots Africa. I say so because we avoided going to the posh hotels and the urban high schools and universities, but, more leaned towards the villages, remote areas where tech tends to not reach there.
Personally, I went to a high school where there was no technology. We never used to believe in these big screens. We never knew how to operate laptops, but now I can.
Since 2016, Kenya-based nonprofit Africa VR Campus and Center has been empowering young women by teaching them technological skills through virtual reality.
As we go out in the outreaches, we pick them, and we bring them to our campus. We dedicate them to AR, XR, VR syllabus. And they are from the age of 14 to 23, and they are very dedicated.
We were studying at a rural school. Our teacher, Paul, came to a summit event, and he recruited us. Our teacher recruited us as the best students, and from there we started our journey with our teacher, Paul.
The CEO, Africa VR Campus and Center, Paul Simon Oyaki, and the director XR Girls Africa, Diana Njeri. We have journeyed with us all through.
Since I joined Africa VR Campus and Center, it has brought so much impact into my life. I've learned so many things.
You've taught us a lot. We're really grateful.
And all of this began with Africa VR Campus and Center founder Paul Simon Wayaki's vision for a better future.
I am a member of the Kikuyu Council of Elders. So in regards to even talking about technology, we are also so in touch with our heritage. We want this to collaborate with all this technology that the world is introducing us to. But, I grew up in a small village called Kabete. And in my early years, there was no electricity. There was no mobile phones. There was nothing. There was no technology. But suffice to say that when I grew up, I really wanted a piece of what the Western world was enjoying. As I grew older, I started, going through the technology that is available. And one particular one that got my eye and my attention is VR.
Wayaki's curiosity about the technology would lead him to a momentous purchase.
I made a very quick order of all the savings that I had. And voila, a Samsung Gear VR came to Nairobi. I had a Galaxy Note 4. I plugged it in and I immersed my head in it. Of course, there was a little, how do you use this gadget? But, I got my footing, and the first experience was going to space. And my mind was blown.
Wayaki quickly realized the potential of VR for education.
I was a teacher using technology in schools, but the only technology available to us was television, 2D, watching, videos on YouTube. And I thought, if I use this device, some African schools literally don't have roofs. They don't have desks. So you can imagine then me bringing a VR device in a roofless classroom so that the students there can look at biological plant and animal cells. But right now with a VR device, I am immersing them and they find themselves surrounded by mitochondria, by nucleus, by chromosome. Their minds blows. And that is when I thought the African child needs this too. And since no one else is doing it, why not me?
And he took the headset around to various schools and villages, introducing others to virtual reality.
In 2016, that's when I happened to meet Paul Simon, the CEO and the founder of Africa VR Campus and Center. And I remember before that, I had not really seen or heard about virtual reality. He was a friend, family member. And now we had this gathering and he was invited. And, he always carried his gadgets with him. It's like his armor. So he came with a headset. At that time, it was the Samsung Gear VR. And he was showing my family members how you can be in a virtual space. And I found that to be very interesting. And from that time, I continued following him wherever he went. And being very committed and devoted to learn and to recruit girls along with me to come and learn too. That's when now I became an associate director of Africa VR Campus and Center.
What were your first days like in class?
Oh, our first day was quite challenging because we didn't know about the metaverse and all that virtual reality. We didn't know all those things because in our rural high school, we didn't major in technologies.
We normally don't go to urban areas. We go to remote areas where we meet girls from remote areas who wish, to do more in their lives.
What do you remember very best from that first meeting of XR Girls Africa?
The girls were so wanting to know more about what I was talking about virtual reality, because I remember I called them at a separate room and I told them I want us to work with another organization where you come up with a business idea and pitch it, but at the same time we'll be working with this garden that I'm showing them the headset, and you pitch your business idea in the metaverse. And now I start explaining to them what metaverse is. And oh my, they were not getting it. And I cannot blame them.
Even wearing our headsets, we could see them on TikTok where just people do gaming or scaring people.
They had not heard about this before. They didn't know what I was talking about. They were just looking at me like, okay.
We didn't know, it was quite difficult, but as we move forward, we can see a big change and we are really happy that we have the best teachers and we really appreciate them.
And I knew, I'm going to work a little bit extra harder to make sure that they get what this is all about.
And the girls were both quick studies and enthusiastic students.
They embraced it. That's what I loved about them. They embraced it and they wanted to know more. So they showed up every time I called.
And as they embraced the technology, the girls excelled, hosting their own events in the metaverse, as well as winning a first-place Social Impact Award in the 2023 Business Ideas competition hosted by the Girls STEAM Institute.
We gave ourselves to the competition, and we knew that God will always be with us. Yeah, we feared that we have these girls from UK, from outside, and all over the world. We were afraid they would come and pass us.
After they won the award of Social Impact Award, we thought, you know what, we are not going to send these girls home. They have a lot to learn and we have the knowledge to give them.
We came here at the campus like every day. We really had to do that so that we can make ourselves better and better each and every day, and gaining that confidence to talk to the panel of judges.
We are also trying to change the narrative that girls from poor families
can run technology to the extent of whatever the Harvard students can learn in XR.
And it was good. When we had that, we had won the Social Impact Award. It was very impressive and we really enjoyed it. It has taught us a lot of technical service here, and I'm really glad to be here learning all these things.
Since then, as the first African girls in the metaverse, XR Girls Africa have spoken to people from all over the world. And the most exciting aspect of these triumphs is they're just the beginning.
But then we asked ourselves, we have already taught the students, they now know XR technology and all sort of emerging tech. What's next? And we realized that the next thing is to empower them financially and also to teach them skills that they can also take to their children many years to come.
In 2024, Wayaki and Diana implemented a new program, combining agricultural skills with 21st century technology to benefit their young mentees.
And so in collaboration with our partners across the continent, we came up with an agricultural regenerative farming, which is an SDG, a Sustainable Development Goal, that aims to reduce poverty, to provide health in regards to dietary needs for these poor families. And we settled on mushroom farming. This is a project or a program that aims to give those students that we have from very humble backgrounds a remuneration at the end of every month, where we tend to put some $100 for each student for just 16 hours of work in this project.
If I were living in a remote village in Africa and had daily expenses, what would $100 be for me?
Most African families, from the north to the south, from the west to the east, you've had it been said again and again that a family could survive at $1 a day. I know it's true because I was once there when my mother was just a grocery seller and all she could manage was just $3, which we were to survive on for a whole week. And by the way, we were a family of 6 kids and 2 parents, that's 8 people in total. Hopefully we will not get a visitor, because if we do, then that greatly damages the budget.
When we're talking about, $100, it's actually going to help these families a lot. Most of these girls comes from families where they're made up of maybe 6 or 7 family members. They have younger siblings who some of them are breastfeeding. They have siblings who are in high school. Some of them, their parents are not able to accomplish the fee payment.
You have to pay to go to secondary school in Africa, is that correct?
Yes, you have to pay, and a lot of money is needed. Because let's say, for example, I was in a boarding school before I came into the rural high school. I was in a boarding school. We are paying over 30,000 per term, and you haven't counted the admission fees. You need to buy blankets, buckets, suitcases. You need a lot of money so that you can venture into a good high school.
These are people who live in houses that don't hold back the wind, that don't hold back the rain. These are families who go days without knowing where food will come from. These are the families where we got these students.
Actually, most of them are firstborns. And we know as a firstborn, you tend to carry the weight of your family. When you see your siblings suffering, you are like, you know what, one day I want to do something.
What would be some of the realities if I were a woman living in Kenya today? What's daily life like?
Daily life. For me, it's not easy because, when I'm not here at this campus, I'm like at home, just sleeping. When I hear some work out there, I just go, but it's not a daily thing. I can get 100 shilling or a 300 shilling. It's not daily. It's just once per day, or it's when only a job comes.
As of late October 2025, the website wise.com converts 300 Kenyan shillings to $2.32 in U.S. currency.
Period poverty is real here. Teenage pregnancies is real here. So when we give them money, we are not only empowering them to be independent, but also showing them that they can be important women in the society, not only in their families.
The times which I'm not at school, I just stay home, or wherever I hear a business opportunity, and not a business opportunity which pays a lot. As Lucy have said, only 100 bob or 200. That's a daily day of a woman in Kenya.
And because we realize the situation they are in financially, in their families, we say we must find a project to empower them.
And what a good way to empower these young women, to put this money in their account after they've earned it. And this is the most powerful part. We are not just giving them money. We are teaching them how to earn it.
Preparations for growing the first mushroom crop began in September 2024.
Today was a busy day for me, actually, because we were cleaning the shed that, we will be planting the mushrooms. And after that, we want the girls to be involved in the farming, to learn how to do the mushroom farming themselves. And after that, they will be earning from this project.
Now, what about the technological aspect?
We expect that we are going to use photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is an idea of mapping an object in the real world using softwares installed in these high-end mobile phones, and then bringing that product now as a 3D IFX, now, which I've already taught you know what that is. Now, so you add it as an IFX, and now you're able to import it into your metaverse world.
We'll be making a digital twin of this farm in the metaverse so that everyone, wherever they are in the world, can see what we are doing. The first thing they'll be learning is how to mix the soil, so that it can be healthy, and maybe the chemicals, the manure that the soil needs. And then they'll be learning how to, pack the soil, which is now mixed with the manure, in those sacks that you've seen, the white sacks. After that, then they'll be showed which seeds to use when they are planting the mushrooms, because there are different types of seeds. So they'll be shown which type of mushroom is suitable for the environment that we are going to plant them. The classes also, I want them to start next week. The whole process starts next week. Today was all about cleaning the shed. So next week I want to bring them with me as we go to mix the soil with the manure and doing all that. And remember, I am also learning with them because I've seen my brother doing that, but I've never been so keen, like, I want to do that also, I'm also learning with the girls, and I'm so, excited to be doing this with them.
And the project moved forward rapidly.
Our trainer was Ken, and he was the best because he was understanding, even when it came to labor. So he was very understanding. Shout out to Ken and his group. We were so excited to start the project of mushroom. When we started the mushroom, we didn't know that we'll be having a lot of work. We started by cleaning inside and outside the shed where we were planting, and it was tiresome work, but we cleaned so that we can prevent the insects from terminating with the mushrooms. We also fumigate the area so that we ensure that there is no insects left in the shade.
So our work today will be, this is where we'll be placing the mushrooms in the time of harvest and in the time of packing them into pallets. So the day-to-day work is to clean this place. It's so dusty. That is our work today.
We didn't expect that mushrooms needed so much attention. As we thought is that we go plant, then after 2 weeks we go and harvest. We even made compost. We had 100 bales of hay, which we needed to separate them so that they can scatter all over. Then we poured water. Then we stayed for 1 day. Then the following day we came back. We put the chicken manure, which is cheaper compared to the other manures that we have, and pouring water and partializing them into layers. As we made 5 layers, you can imagine the hay, we are carrying hay, putting it in layers, then pouring the chicken manure and also pouring water. We did that for 5 layers.
We took almost 1 month to prepare that compost.
They would leave it for 3 days, and then next day they are going to poke at it. It would produce so much heat, apparently, and that's how it should be, and a lot of smell.
We also added urea, which helped in the production of nutrients so that the mushroom can grow faster.
We even cooked soil. We cooked it with firewood because, the mushroom needs to be layered with soil which has no bacteria at all. So you have to cook it to kill the bacteria. It was, a lot of chemicals and layers of whisker after another whisker of layers and layers, up to 5 layers.
In my experience, although I personally didn't attend all the classes because Diana is a farm manager, and like I said, it's also part of my learning curve, is that I had no idea the things that are put in place to prepare the planting of mushrooms or the preparation that takes place. I told the girls to forgive me because in my mind, according to Kenneth, it was supposed to be easy work.
The mushroom need a lot of care. When we were at the process of making manure, imagine I needed to cut off my nails. I'm a nail technique. So I had to cut off my nails so that we ensure that there is no germs interfering with the manure. And also, we decided to include some men, some young fathers to come and help us too.
Apparently, the preparation of the humus that this mushroom is going to be planted in is a lot of work. And we realized that the first day, and I told Ken, hey, wait a minute, we cannot let them, dive into this sort of laborious work. So what we are going to do is employ some hands, extra hands, to help the girls, because some of the work was really manual. When we employ other people in our community for $5 a day, we are impacting their lives too. These are young men who are jobless, who probably may have a young family to go back home and feed.
When Paul is talking about young people who have families to feed, those who are men about 20 to 25, or maybe to 27 years old, and they already have wives and maybe 1 or 2 kids. They need this job as much as the girls, the income. Even though these young men need, they also need a job. And when we are doing this, we are not only empowering the girls, but also the community around us.
Today is planting day. We have started planting today. We are bringing all the compost with the bags into this dark house. Oh, it's quite a day. What is they are doing, they are incubating. So after putting the seeds in the compost, we put them in these polythene bags, and then after a few minutes, we cover them up to incubate them. That is Agnes on top and Lucy.
The bags which we were keeping there, the manure and the mushroom seeds. We were fumigating them so that there is no any insect interfering with them, because the mushroom are very sensitive and they are the slay queens plants we have seen.
What's the average care and feeding of mushrooms daily?
First thing first is hygiene. The way we harvest them, we have to first wash our hands very carefully with a soap that has no chemical or any perfume. We have to put away anyone who is smoking or drinking away from the sheds, because any bad air that can get into the shed can really contaminate the mushrooms.
We are opted to wear gumboots, these boots which reach up to here, wearing overalls, even head caps for our hair, so that we cannot contaminate the mushrooms. It was very hectic, but thankful we are able to plant them, and it was the best experience ever.
I realize I don't know much about growing mushrooms at all. And there's a video here that shows the girls walking into a mud house. And you say to them, don't forget to ask questions. Why is the house built of mud? I'm going to ask that question.
First of all, mud is the most affordable product of building that is available to us. Not only that, the agricultural engineer, Kenneth, also suggested that even though mud is a cheap product, it's also the best in regards to providing a natural aeration to the sheds in which the mushrooms will be planted. So it's not just the most affordable, it's also effective. It's a natural way to air the room. And don't forget, we are trying to do sustainable development farming. And so we must use sustainable products. We must use climate-friendly products. And that is another thing, the reason, that reason why we are using mud to build those sheds. If we build the sheds with iron sheets, we are encouraging the steel-making industries to continue spoiling the climate. And that's another reason why we built with mud. It's a natural product. It does not cost a lot of money to build a house with mud. And Africans are known to living in mud houses. And so it's an extension of something we already know how to make and how to live in such houses. And those are the three main reasons why we considered mud, of course, directed by our engineer.
And as their crop grew in the physical world, the girls were also learning photogrammetry in the metaverse in order to create a digital twin of the farm.
Our class was very good. We met Mark Jeffcock, who was our trainer. He was very patient because we didn't have those kind of phones like iPhones, which remove the picture as the way you photogrammetry it. It was exciting to learn a new thing. I didn't know the word photogrammetry, but for now I know. And if we have good phones, we can continue with it.
What were some of the scans that you made?
Okay, we made a scan of our Wakanda Kitenge. It came exactly in, like, you photogrammetry it in real life, but in the Scaniverse, it became exactly like it. It was very heartwarming, and we were really excited. And also, we also photogrammed our vessels, and also Paul's car. We also photogrammed it. Yeah, but due to our phones, it did not come as we expected, but at least we tried, and it came.
What did you produce that you were most proud of with your photogrammetry?
Okay, I produced a flower vessel. It was very beautiful. I didn't know it will come just the way I photogrammetry it. It was very good, and I felt very happy for myself and proud.
How about you, Nimbur?
It's a statue. It was a statue, and we photogrammed it, and it came like, it was smart. It was a beautiful thing.
Now, when do we get to see the digital twin of your agricultural project, your farm, in the metaverse?
When we have good devices which can photogrammetry it, because it's a dark place and we need light and everything so that it can come out the way it is, and good phones.
So really the only obstacle right now is getting some equipment that will match the skills that you have.
Yeah.
But no one has ever said farming was without its challenges.
We had a few problems. We encountered again molds, and I've done my research and they have not yet come to a conclusion of how they can manage this problem when it comes to mold in mushroom planting.
The molds ate our plants, like 250 bags out of 750 bags. That is a big loss.
We were able to manage that by just removing the infected bags from the shed where the other uninfected bags are, to the other shed, and we spaced them. Even though they are all infected, we don't know to what extent they are infected. So maybe one bag can be infected, but not, that bad. Maybe one bag can be infected in a bad way.
And also, there was sickness. Me, myself, I suffered from pneumonia infection from the molds. You can imagine that. I did not go out. I stayed in my bed for like 3 days to 5. And it was a very hectic. And also the snails also came and bite our mushrooms, and also some flying insects came and destroyed our plants.
We have today also encountered flies. I don't know where they are coming from. I think it's because of the weather. It has been raining for the past 3 months. Just comes about because of the weather. They've been trying to enter the sheds, and when they, try to hop on the mushroom, it turns the color. The color might change to yellow or sometimes purple. So with that, we've also come up with a solution. We bought some fly traps where we hang them from one place to another just to catch the flies. The only thing that we are making sure is that when we encounter a problem, we have to come up with a solution very quick.
But one problem they encountered threatened to destroy their harvest.
I remember the first time when I saw the red pepper mites, I was so stressed. I couldn't sleep because I was like, this is over.
They started invading the moment we incubated the bags.
So the red pepper mites come about also, as they said, because maybe when we are making the compost, the place where we laid the compost, maybe it was not thoroughly cleaned. They also say because, the compost maybe was tampered by a lot of people who did not observe also high hygiene. That is one thing that can bring about the red pepper mite. Also, when we are making the compost and when we are doing casing means when we are putting virgin soil now on top of the mushroom bag. Because remember, the mushroom, we don't grow the mushroom on the ground. We put the mushrooms in a bag, right? And then now after 2 weeks of incubating these bags and observing them, then we come and we put virgin soil. Remember, I told you that we cook virgin soil, right? Just to kill the bacteria. So we cook the virgin soil for 12 hours, and then the next day we come now and we put just not much, a little bit amount of the virgin soil on top of the bag, so that now the mushroom can start germinating. The red pepper mite can occur in those two situations: when we're making the compost or when you're making the casing. And I can point this out very well. We noted that the red pepper mites came when we were making the past casing. And we were so confused because we never knew that we can find, this red pepper mite just roaming around the bags. And they are this very tiny, by the way. Sometimes you cannot even notice them with your naked eye. I have poor eyesight. And so I didn't notice them. My brother was the one, now the trainer. So, and he's a very good expert, and he was like, no, I can see stuff moving around. And he looked again and he said, they are red pepper mites and they multiply within seconds. So you can ignore that today and say, let me come tomorrow and figure it out. By the time you come tomorrow, almost all the bags have red pepper mites. So when we saw that, we immediately took a step, and we called another expert who has been in this field for almost 10 years. And he told us the only thing to deal with it is to, when we are making the casing, is to use our bare hands to make sure that when we are mixing the lime, because when you're making the casing, we mix lime, now the virgin soil, and something else called cocoa peat, right? Now the lime is used to neutralize the soil's acidity. So you have to mix it very well. And when you ignore it and say, I don't want to touch the soil, I will do it with a shovel, you will make a big mistake because you won't mix these things thoroughly. So you are told you have to kneel down on your knees, use your hands, and mix everything, and we did that. And in our second casing, they were all gone.
It was very unfortunate that those mites were there, but thanks to our trainer, we found a way to fumigate them and they were all gone.
We have prepared these sheds very well. We have cleaned them very well, so we are expecting good harvests.
How long does it take from the time you plant these mushrooms to the time you harvest?
It takes like 4 weeks. Yeah, it takes 4 weeks after we planted the mushrooms so that we start to harvest. But since we started the whole process, it's been a long month. I don't know, like a month or two, like 3 to 4 months. Yeah.
What remains to do now is harvesting. We are in a period where we are waiting now for the mushroom to grow, which they are really growing very fast. We are giving them approximately of maybe 2 weeks, and then we go back and start harvesting.
We really need to have the marketing ready so that the mushroom, when we harvest them, they are just easy to transport there. Yeah.
Already we have started marketing. We have made videos showcasing our farm. We are calling it Kiwa Farm. We named this farm after my mom. She's an incredible mother. She's a mother to many. She has mentored a lot of girls too. And we saw, even if it's Africa VR Campus and Center project, we should name it after someone. And so we saw it was fitting to name it after my mother, Catherine Wanjiko. We call her Kate, Catherine Wanjiko. So we should name it to Kiwa Farm. We have started putting videos of marketing, editing beautiful videos and passing out on our Facebook pages, on our WhatsApp groups, and all our friends. And we're hoping that it's reaching a lot of people.
To show these young girls, how to earn using agriculture. And all we can see right now and all we can say is that we have gained a lot of, fruits. Mushroom to the world. Mushroom to the world.
Mushroom to the world. We have already started receiving calls, by the way, asking us when will they be out. The other day I went to the bank near me and they asked me how the campus, how the organization is doing. And I told them about the mushroom project, and they were like, you should come here with samples next week. We need to buy them. So,
and in an email in early December, Wayaki says it's just before Christmas, and today the first mushrooms were plucked from the farm. Ken says the bugs are gone for good, and if all goes well, a heavy harvest. And while the Sustainable Mushroom Farm represents a new venture for them, XR Girls Africa are certainly no strangers to entrepreneurship. In addition to their win for their business plan at the Girls STEAM Institute, they've also been handcrafting baskets, which they sell in the metaverse.
The baskets are made here locally with the help of their parents, but the displays is in the metaverse. The girls will be making the products with their mothers, and that in reality connects the students with the client. So it's not just buying a product, you are buying their story. And this product or the selling of this product adds to the fundraising of these girls.
Where online can people reference that metaverse market if they've never seen it before?
You can just email me directly, paulsimonkenya@gmail.com, and then I'm going to open the
Wowed for you, where you're going to come and look at the products, or you can also come to our weekly metaverse events, which is every Thursday at 2 p.m. New York.
Please tell me about the first harvest.
It is the biggest day, to encounter, because, in our first round of harvesting, we encountered all these things, as I was mentioning to you. But the moment we saw that we are picking almost 170 punnets, you can imagine how that felt. I remember we prayed, we were so thankful.
Once you harvest them, how do you get them ready for market, and to whom do you sell them?
Okay, we do like this. They need you need to have scissors and a knife. You really need to cut it, then clean it. There's something we use to clean it, and pack them in bags and cover them so that when they are delivered, they don't get destroyed all the way to the marketplace. We cover them so as to enhance their security, and that's how we do it.
One of my very best days. And it's very hard to make a African guy to cry, but you know which day it was. It was the day that we went to the bank to open bank accounts for these girls. That to me was the day that I felt that I could die now, and I could die a very happy man.
But before that trip to the bank came the process of selling the mushrooms.
We went to the market, all of us, just to experience this new opportunity. I will never forget that time. It was really, really powerful for us. The first time we decided to go to an open air market, because we wanted also the girls to, to feel this whole energy of selling and, picking the money and exchanging with the mushroom punnets.
What were some of the things that you learned about business and entrepreneurship as you were doing the work with the mushrooms?
It's like happy because I started to be like, I'm a woman now. I can do agriculture at some point and earn some money, because we made a profit of $80 out of $400. So it's a profit thing. And that is the money which we use to open our bank account. So like we are proud because now we have our bank account, we can deposit money, we can withdraw money, which is a happy thing to us.
They are very good with communication skills when it comes to selling. Missing them just having that skill of communication with the customer and that etiquette of saying thank you, see you again, I hope you come again, give us your feedback, or how they were packing the mushrooms from one cotton to another. Those skills, they were never taught before, but I think it came out so naturally. I think it's because they wanted this so much. They really wanted it.
We had gone to approve the mushrooms, and our trainer said, do you know that you're going to have your own money out of your own hard work?
Today is such a remarkable day for us. This is what we are doing today, right? We are depositing money for our girls and teaching them how to manage money.
I don't think they really understood the profoundness of the moment until I started giving each of their shares to the banker to deposit the money to their accounts, right? So I'm giving it to the banker. This is for Zainab. This is for Shiko, $100. This is for Margaret, $100. I don't think they knew exactly what that meant until the whole process was finished and we went to the ATM and they were shown how to use it. And then in a moment, if you watch that video, you realize that Zainab has no idea exactly what she's doing until she withdraws the money. She's like, oh, I have money.
It's a good thing. Now I have a debit card. I can now go shopping at Naivas and pay using my card. And it feels good. Yeah.
Show the money.
Of all the girls we have, only one of them has a mother who had a bank account because she was being paid formally. But for the rest, it's the whole family has never seen an ATM, maybe on TV or an advertisement somewhere.
It was a really enjoyable moment seeing our own money, which we worked hard for, that we can open bank accounts and we can have more entering the banks.
I would like first to say that our capital for the first harvest was around 500,000. Or can you convert that into dollars?
And so that was the total cost, including the building of the sheds, was $5,000, and that included the planting. But now some capital is not repeated because we're not going to build those 2 sheds again unless we want to expand the sheds.
The profit that we gained from that was 80,000 shillings. And that's where the girls were able to take 10,000 Kenyan shillings into their banks, right? So if that is 80,000 Kenyan shillings, Paul, is how much in dollars?
80,000 would be $800.
If I am calculating correctly, you made $800 profit. There are 7 girls. You gave each $100. This was not a money-making venture for you, but you made a profit in a different way that's a whole lot more important.
Absolutely.
That to me was the most proudest moment for them to be taken. And the bank was very nice. By the way, I want to thank Family Bank Kenya for Wagigi branch for taking us through the steps. Because when they realized what we are there for, they put me and Diana aside and they said, give us these girls. We want to show them everything. And there was a lady who took them and showed them how you open a bank account, showed them the different type of bank accounts, showed them what we mean by tax, paying tax, what is a current saving account, what is a fixed deposit account. They were taken through all of that. How do you deposit your money? And while they were doing that, some rich guys came and deposited $10,000 in a moment. And I remember Zainab saying, wow, will I ever do that? And I confused, and I thought she was asking whether she'll be able to withdraw money. And I said, of course, you are going to withdraw your money right now. We are going to test whether when you deposit the money, whether you'll be able to remove it. And that's why you'll be shown how to use an ATM.
Paul has actually been our father figure since most of our fathers are, but yeah, Paul has always been there for us.
These girls are from the village. I grew up in the village and I know how it works in the village. You wake up in the morning, you see the same people in the morning, you go back, to bed. Tomorrow you see the same people, you're talking about the same thing. There is nothing that really grows, even in your mind.
Well, since our parents are not able to pay for our colleges, so we have to just be ourselves and do a little work so that at least we can help our parents at home to buy some stuff there.
When we went to the dinner later, and all of them started talking about, we have always seen people going to the bank. We've never seen the inside of the bank. Now we are part of the bank. We are part of the banking system. When you hear young girls speaking this language, then you have enriched them in a way that they can be able to figure out that we are also on an economic journey to raise ourselves from where we were told we can never be.
I have gathered more than enough courage that I can now speak to people and not feel out of place or unwanted. Yeah, I feel so special.
They have the power to use their mind. They have the power to use their brains. They have the power to use their energy and their hands. And these girls from XR Girls Africa have done exactly that.
Meanwhile, after that first harvest, Kewa farm continued to thrive.
Right now, currently, we are in our second round of our mushroom planting. Since we started harvesting the mushroom 1 week ago, that is after 1 month and a half of compost preparation. And we have harvested 150 punnets in counting.
This journey that we say we are going to be on, digital, socio-economic empowerment. Voila, we have done it. And so Africa VR Campus and Center is now wholesome in its promise to these young women. We have had a long mentorship journey with these girls. Before we reached here, before we even appreciate how they are going to be responsible for their money, let us appreciate that they have kept their sacred womanhood, right? They have not gone all over the place, spoiling their young womanhood. And I'm saying so because that is what their peers are doing, those whom we cannot be able to bring into the fold.
I always say that there are many girls who have come and they went and we never heard from them again. And we've, heard that they got pregnant, others got married, others are seen up here and down there. And we cannot do anything about it. We are always keeping our gates open, for these girls to come in and learn, to gain from the knowledge and the wisdom that we have and to pass what we can to them. And with that, they are changing their world. They are changing their families' lives. They are changing their own lives. And their future is going to be great.
What's your dream? If anything could happen for you in the next 5 years, what would happen for you professionally?
For me, I would like to be a sponsored in a college or university to continue my passion of being a beautician or a fashion designer, because that's what I love. And that's what I inspire to be, like to learn, to be sponsored and learn.
It's like a dream coming true as we watch, as our eyes are wide open.
And when one dream comes true, it tends to clear the way for others.
We are thinking big, really. And I love it because we cannot remain stagnant. I always believe when we start something, we have to think ahead. We have to think, how can we expand it?
We have affiliated ourselves with an organization called APCCC that is situated in Uganda that are also doing regenerative farming and sustainable farming. And so what you're going to have is a sort of, in our view, a pan-African collaboration with what we are doing here in Kenya. It can be copied, it can be cloned to other cities, to other rural areas where people are wondering, how do we support our young women or our single mothers?
We are opening our farm for training. Now our girls have gained knowledge on how to plant mushrooms, on how to make this compost, and also how to build sheds, right? So now we are reaching out and exposing our knowledge and our wisdom on how to plant this mushroom to other farms and to other people so that they can know that we can train them, right? We want to become teachers now.
I want to appeal to the world out there that the reason why our organization is called Africa VR Campus and Center is because our vision and mission was to impact the whole of the continent, if it was possible. And one of the things that will help us do that is having a permanent campus on location anywhere in Africa, preferably here in the outskirts of Kenya. And our intention was to make it a central hub so that we can send a bus to Malawi and bring students who can, sleep at the campus for a week, so that when they go back to Malawi, they go back with that knowledge, they go back with that, tech savvy, openness, and probably even escort them with a headset or two on their way back. We sent another bus to Tanzania, another bus to Uganda, and bring them to the hub where they can stay using unlimited resources to learn this technology. And the reason we are doing it is because we are in Africa. We see hopelessness in the youth, whose millions in numbers are jobless. They are using drugs, they are, plunging into prostitutions, into human trafficking, because they have no other thing to do. They have no employment.
The hard work they are doing. We like people to just see the bright future we have there. So that if you people see the bright future you have in us, then we can inspire other people.
So my dream, of course, like I said, is to have a permanent hub so that we can move out of a hut into a very nicely built workshop where we can invite students from all over the continent who can come. And we promise those sponsors who will do that we will never charge the student a dime like we still do today. We will not charge them a dime. Let them come and let them learn.
As for me, I would like to have an international scholarship so that I can go and continue studying more about technology, not just technology, but the technology as wholly, because as we are venturing in virtual reality, but there are others. And when I do that, I can come back to my village and teach other girls who don't have fees to go to college, and I'll be the proudest person in the village.
If you have just one person who believes in you, that's all it takes. Just one person. Even if you had 1 million naysayers and you just had one person who believes in you, that's all you need. I've not had one person believe in me. I've had a strong, small bunch of people who looked at us and say, we see what you are doing. And sometimes that's all we need to keep going. It's our fuel to remind us that we are not crazy. It's a beacon that is visible from 1,000 miles away in the shores of America. It is wonderful to pull the world to us that way. Amidst all is happening in the world, amidst all the wars, all the hopelessness, all the crime, all the racism, all the misogyny, we are able to create a small bubble of utopia and say that we can live as human beings who show love and unity and collective growth, collective hope, collective dreams to realize everything come true. And for that, as a Gikuyu elder, I say, thy, Yangai, thy. That was Gikuyu. It was Gikuyu language. And what I just did is, because right now I'm facing Mount Kenya, which is the sacred Gikuyu mountain. And I just brought in the positive energy onto everyone who is in this meeting. And to say it's like a sacred thank you